Here in my hand, I'm holding an F1 Firearms chambered in 350 Legend. We're gonna go ahead and do a little testing with it today. Quick overview on the rifle here. Starting at the buttstock, it is just a M4 buttstock on a Mil-Spec buffer tube. Getting into the receiver, it is a forged receiver on here. Fit and finish on there. It's got a little bit of wobble, but not too bad on it. It's got a Mil-Spec 2-stage trigger in it. Got a little bit of grit to it, but hopefully that'll smooth up as we start shooting it. Their free float tube on here, you got a full length Picatinny rail, M-lock slots, QD holes on it. It does have a 16-inch nitride barrel on it, and then it's got their Dragon Slayer muzzle brake on the end of it. So for about 900 bucks is what this retails for. We'll see what type of accuracy we can get out of it and reliability. For testing, we're going to try out some Winchester 180s, Winchester 150s. We'll even do some of the Winchester 145 target stuff, Hornady American Whitetail 170s, and the Federal 180. During the accuracy part of it, I robbed the Mark V off of my other AR. So we'll use that for accuracy, but eventually it's going to get a Holosun 510 on here for actual hunting, because really most of our shots on where we're going here next weekend are going to be probably somewhere between 15 and maybe 60 yards. So it's not really gonna need something magnified. But it did come with one 5-round CMMG made AR mag for it, so we'll use that. I'm just going to dump this first 5-round mag into the berm, make sure that it feeds and functions everything right. So pop these off. Looks like it ran it all the way home. Lock the bolt back, so that's a good start to everything. We're just going to dump a couple of 150s through it here real quick. Fed. Yep, locked it back. Seems to function the 150s just fine. Seems like all the brass is ending up over there about that 330 position, so coming out all right. I already took a few shots at 50 yards. Things are looking pretty centered up, so we're going to go ahead and start in at about the 100-yard line here and get some of this accuracy testing going. The audio here, we're getting about, I don't know, anywhere from 15 to 25 mile-an-hour winds, so I'm probably not going to record all of the shooting. That way we also don't have, you know, about a 2-hour-long video of me just sitting here shooting and you watching shells fly out the side of the gun. So let's get started on this. That's about 0.3 mils low. We'll go ahead and adjust it and do a little more shooting here. Catch you on the backside. Whew. Got done shooting all the groups here. Figured I'd come inside, get out of the wind here. Maybe the audio, you'll be able to hear me a little bit better. Overall, the thing shot pretty good. I did have to stop after shooting the first 3 types of ammo. After shooting that Winchester white box 145 grain full metal jacket stuff, I had the first failure to feed, and it went almost all the way into battery. It just would have needed one little nudge on the forward assist and it would have made it, but that white box stuff is just so dirty burning. I decided to stop there, clean the rifle, then went back out and then shot the Hornadys and the Federals. But let's take a look at all these groups here and See what we think. So the first group that I shot was the 180 grain Winchesters. There's 10 shots in there, so not too bad through this gun. I'll probably end up zeroing the red dot up with this stuff just because I got a whole bunch more of it. So next group up is the 150 grain Winchesters. Also looking pretty good. Maybe just over, 2 inches there on those 10 shots, but the majority of them all in here. So also looking pretty good. Point of impact a little bit higher than the 180s. So getting into these 145 grain full metal jackets, you can see that this whole group here, those 10 shots are pretty strong vertically. In the past, I have been skeptical on muzzle brakes like this that have downward pressure on the muzzle, because it can change harmonics on a barrel. I've noticed it quite a bit on precision rifles. On an AR, when you're shooting for speed, then yeah, it helps you stay on target, but your precision, sometimes if you've got a wide standard deviation like what these have, because I ran these across the chronograph in my other rifle and they were not very close for speed, it ends up giving you this huge vertical string in here. They're also super dirty burning. I had to clean the rifle after shooting these. After cleaning it, the next ones that I shot were the Hornady American Whitetail. They're the 170 grainers. So I did notice when shooting this that some of my first ones were flyers, and then in the back half, those following 5 actually landed pretty tight in here. So I went ahead down here and shot another 5-shot group with it, and this gun actually really likes that stuff quite a bit. So the only problem is this is my last box of this stuff, and they're all out of it at the store. So the last group that I shot was the Federal 180 grain soft points, which a couple of these landed pretty good. Point of impact from point of aim was significantly lower, a little bit further off than most of the other ammunitions that I shot. But you can see again this vertical stringing on it. I only had 5 of these left, so I figured I might just as well burn them up in this test and get rid of them, but didn't really do that well. Now that the accuracy testing is done, let's go ahead and get this scope taken off of here, and I'll put this hollow sun on it and get it re-zeroed up. I'm back outside. I got the hollow sun put on here, and I'm at 50 yards. Put a couple on steel, see where we're at, so that we can work our way out to 100 yards and get our final zero on this thing. About in line, but a little bit low. Alright, adjusted up the red dot. Let's send another one down there at 50 yards, see where we're at. Pretty close, just a little bit left. And another one here. About right on the money. Alright, so back at the 100-yard line. Hopefully we'll be close here. Put one on steel and see where it lands. It's actually pretty good. That was just on the right side of that sticker. Yep, right same spot. Right. There we go. Help if I turned it the right direction the first time. Yep, that looks good. Now we'll put a few on paper. Alright. I think I got about 6 shots left in this magazine. So we'll take them on paper at 100 yards, see what we can do, and then go inside and we'll wrap up this video. See, the red dot on a red target doesn't work out real well, at least for sight picture. Alright, let's go down, take a look. Well, that's not too bad for 6 shots with a red dot at 100 yards, but we do need to get that group back to the left a little bit. I think I overcorrected just a smidgen. I'm at 50 yards here. Got 5 shots loaded up. There's a 2/3 IPSC about right there. It's kind of hard to see here on the camera, but we'll see what I can do here. Yep, them deer better be worried. Come up here, see what I did. I knew that first one. Pitched it kind of high there. I didn't want to be shooting that bolt and breaking it off, so I started aiming a little bit lower. Not too shabby. That'll work, especially since deer season is this following Saturday. This thing's ready to run. So, my final thoughts on the F1 FDR 350 Legend. I'll say overall, shot most of the hunting ammo pretty good. It's definitely more than capable of taking a 100 or 200 yard shot with it and killing whitetails or pigs or anything like that. My biggest complaint is definitely right there, that trigger. It's pretty heavy. There's a couple times where I thought, man, I almost didn't take the safety off, but no, it's just that heavy. I would definitely replace that, but maybe I've just been babied too much by shooting all these trigger techs and guys leading Timney triggers, I guess, in my other guns. So the other thing that I'd be interested is right here, that muzzle brake. Maybe if we swap that out, it might also tighten up some of these groups a little bit, because I think, you know, between the trigger and that, if we change those out, it would definitely Probably shrink some of those 1.5-inch groups down to 1 inch, maybe even smaller, who knows. The muzzle brake does do a real good job of mitigating climb when shooting free-handed, but on the precision side, like the 145 grainer showed, it definitely makes it string a little bit in height. This gun showed to be pretty reliable. I put a little over 120 rounds through this thing today. Only had that one hiccup on the 145s. I'll say for larger bore ARs, that's not doing too bad, especially since that 145 is just a cheap round. So all the hunting stuff did a little bit better. But I set this gun up for my father-in-law so that this next weekend we're going to go deer hunting, and he's got a bad shoulder, so a 350 Legend is perfect for him. So I'd like to thank everybody for watching and subscribing, and we'll see you on the next one.